today is a special day, we must say. Because our friendship is special, friendship between Tanzania and China. There's a Chinese proverb, and Ambassador, correct me if I misstates it. It says that distance tests the horse's strength, time reveals a person's character. We have traveled together as two people and countries a long distance. And today we stand strong together. Our friendship has endured the test of time, and our relation is much stronger today. We must be grateful to our forefathers who have founded our relations. Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere and Chairman Mao, Mzee Abeid Karume, and Premier Chonlai. Today, we are proud of this relation because of the foresight that they had. We now have a heritage and legacy to protect, which is a beautiful partnership and a beautiful friendship. We must be grateful for them, for this heritage. So on the 26th of April 1964, history was made because a new nation was born out of our own will. We united the two republics to form the United Republic of Tanzania on the 26th April 1964. And on the very same day, China recognized this new United Republic. And on the very same day, we established diplomatic relations. And the following year, we entered into a treaty, a friendship treaty in 1965 between our two countries. And it was not easy because you recall the politics of the time, and to enter into such a treaty was a historic moment. But our two leaders were brave, were strong, and were courageous to announce to the world that our two countries are partners and friends and will travel together through history. And that treaty has resulted in the improvement of welfare of the people of our two countries. You will recall and you will know that in 64, when we decided to establish these relations, Tanzania is a new United Republic, but China also was not fairly old republic, was only 15 years old, because it was founded in 1949. It's an old civilization, but as a republic was fairly new, 15 years old. So we were trying to find our place in the world, in a challenging world. So our journey over the past 60 years has been fruitful for us. And you know very well that the first duty of a nation is to protect its independence. So when we were founded as a republic, a united republic in 1964, the first task was to make sure that our independence is protected. And therefore, cooperation and friendship in military, in national defense was key, because it was a particular need for us as a new republic. And China was with us in this very important task, to make sure that we build the capacity to defend our country, we build the capacity to defend our borders, we build the capacity to defend our independence. Cooperation in this area communicates a high level of trust and confidence when you cooperate in national defense. So our country was able to trust China to work with us for our national defense. So truly, China is our partner. And you recall that during that time, our country undertook a tremendous effort to also liberate countries around us, especially in Southern Africa, because we believed then that our independence was not complete if Southern Africa is not free. And in this monumental task, China was with us as well. Not just to defend our independence, but to liberate our friends and partners in Southern Africa. And China was with us as well in this task. So you have been with us in all important tasks of our country. But also, national security and the pride of nation is guaranteed when a country is able to feed its people. So China worked with us to build the capacity for us to produce enough food for our people. And when you see the photo exhibition there, you will see tremendous effort to cooperate in this area. You go to Mbarali, all that irrigated area and irrigation infrastructure is because of our cooperation. The first very few extension officers and agricultural experts in this country were taught in China because China wanted to work with us to make sure that we are able to feed our people. And this is very important as well. We also farm implements. There's a very famous factory here. It's called UFI, Ubungo Farm Implement. Because we decided, just like China, that if you want to be successful in food production, you have to be able to produce your own farm implements. We worked with China to do that. And that was important legacy as well. But also a new nation wanted to educate its people, because that's also important. China worked with us in this area. The Chinese teachers who came in this country in early days. Health was important because you remember, upon independence, we declared 3 enemies, diseases, ignorance, and poverty. And China was with us in the struggle to defeat these enemies across the board. So it's an important partner for us. We wanted to build an industrial base in this country. In early days, China was with us. In the early industries, the one was mentioned here, Rafiki Textile Mill, the technology, the investment was from China. So you were with us during that time. We wanted to build infrastructure as a new nation. And the biggest of them all is Tazara. We worked together. This was 1967, 1970. Even in China, they are not actually very advanced in this area, but they partnered with us. And in fact, Chinese and Tanzanians share the same culture in terms when people die. When people die, they have to be buried from their ancestral land. You have to travel to the rural area to bury. But we buried some Chinese here who died while constructing Tazara. So Chinese shed blood in Tanzania trying to help build our nation. And if you go to the grave there, if you don't believe me that this partnership is important, that China was committed to Tanzania's development, go see the graves there. That's probably the evidence that you need. Yeah? So across sectors, ICT, water, electricity, everything. In Tanzania, we have iconic landmarks, and we have named after our presidents. And I'll mention a few. Julius Nyerere International Conference Center, right? Chinese, okay, worked with us. Mkapa Stadium, all right? Chinese, okay? Jakaya Kikwete Hall, Magufuli Bridge, I could go on, worked with us. So it's an important partner for us. Now, some things must be said. One, China and Tanzania have played important role in global affairs. We have always been a voice of reason. We have always valued dialogue. We've always been driven by mutual respect. These are very important values that in today's world, from what we see, we need to carry on. So we have contributed, and we must continue to do so, in world peace and harmony through promoting dialogue, mutual respect, and voice of reason. Second, so this is number one. Second, we know that China has ascended into a much more influential position in global affairs than us. That's clear. China now sits at bigger tables. Okay? Now, the beautiful thing is that despite this ascendancy, China has not forgotten its friends. It is still with us, and you are working with us. And the key Chinese initiatives like FOCAC and BRI also takes care and is in consideration of our needs as African. This is the second thing I want to talk about. The third thing, solidarity between our two countries is even more important now than ever because of what's going on in the world. We must do everything that is necessary to advance this solidarity, to advance this unity, to advance this togetherness. The quest for self-determination is still needed. Our independence and freedom must continue to be protected through solidarity. We are free, but the freedom is tested every day. We're independent, but our independence is tested every day. And solidarity is the only protection for our freedom and independence. And we must continue to do that. So this is the third thing that I wanted to talk about. The fourth thing that I wanted to talk about is that there is still scramble, just as it has been throughout civilization between powers. And in this day and era, the scramble is in three areas. One is the infrastructure, supply chains and transport corridors. Who builds them? Who owns them? Who controls them? Infrastructure, transport corridors, supply chains. Where materials are produced, where do they go? What's the cost? Who owns? Who controls? It's a big scramble. Number two, energy and the material for production of energy. And now we're talking about renewable energy as a new future. And renewable energy is produced through certain energy minerals: lithium, nickel, cobalt, tin. Right? Who controls them? How are they being processed? Where do they go? And so forth. The third area is ICT, both infrastructure hardware and also software, artificial intelligence and so forth. Who deploys satellites? Who controls them? Who owns them? And who has proprietary over them? So countries such as ours requires partnership and support to make sure that our interests are protected in this new day and age, in this new scramble. And we continue to rely on China's friendship in this new scramble, in these areas. So this is important as well. Now, finally, we must say that we support China's posture and initiatives that relates to us. FOCAC, BRI. I know that we need to continue to have conversations about resource availability for Africa's need, and FOCAC has provided a forum for that conversation. Now, I want to end because we spoke here about people to people and how important that is. I've had my own people to people experience with China, and for those who attended the reception when we celebrated the 74th anniversary of the founding of People's Republic of China, probably will see this as a repetition of a story. So in 2019, I was out of government, and I undertook to travel to China on my own for a bit of length of time. And I chose to take trains and drive in rural China because I was interested to understand this big country called China and the story behind it. So I took time to visit villages and to talk to people and to knock doors randomly. I went to big town, Qingdao and elsewhere, to smaller town that you won't know. And there was an incident. I was driving from Qingdao to a place called Yuncheng County in Shandong province. And I was driving at night with a Chinese friend. And there was, in this massive highway, and constantly there was a navigation in the car that was instructing us where to turn the corner, where to go. And this is super highway. And I was asking my friend that why do we need to use this navigation? I thought you were from here. And he told me that yes, I'm from here, but this 800 kilometers highway was not here 5 years ago. Okay, this is a new super highway. I said, this is interesting, and he said, this is the whole of China. It's like this. Things are being constructed every day. So we went and we reached at Yuncheng town close to midnight because we were late. And the host that was to receive us was this wushu master, a kung fu master, who has built his own little village. And we felt apologetic because we kept them waiting for too long. But surprisingly, they're extremely happy to receive me. And I had no government title by then, so this is genuine friendship. And there was a big feast there waiting for me. A lot of food. And so this old man, who's a kung fu master, walks into the room upright. Everybody stands up, commands respect, showing leadership, and he comes sit next to me. And of course, we need a translator, but so we delve into food. He has never been to Africa, he's never been to Tanzania. But he spoke about two things very passionately. Tazara and Julius Nyerere. This is in rural China. And this old Kung Fu master was so passionate and emotional in speaking to me, knowing that I'm from Tanzania, about Tazara and Julius Nyerere, as if he knew him, as if he was his close friend. So if you talk about people to people, if you talk about bond, these are examples. We can talk about other things, the bridges that we've done together, but if our two leaders resides in the hearts of our two people, that indicates and communicates the level of closeness and partnership that our two countries enjoy. So the next day, I was entertained to a massive Kung Fu show, not because of me, but because I'm from Tanzania. That is key. Thank you for your attention.